Welcome to Eventful Endeavors, secrets to crafting the perfect celebration. If you're planning an event and looking for useful tips from industry experts, you're in the right place. So get ready to take some notes and we'll dive right in. This is Eventful Endeavors.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Eventful Endeavors. We are here today back on the West Coast. I've got with me today Nicole Peters, who is the owner and creative mind behind Polly Knows Best, an event planning company out here on the West Coast. So thank you so much for being here, Nicole.
It's great to be here.
Great. So I always kind of start off the same way with everybody, which is tell me your story. How'd you get involved in event planning? Was it always what you wanted to do? Did you change careers at some point? Give me your story of how it started.
That's a great question. I had this moment probably back in 2016 where I was like, okay, I really want to have my own business. What am I good at? And I started thinking through, what do I do naturally? And I started realizing that basically my whole life, I just naturally plan events. People have always just asked me to host things. I enjoy hosting things. I come from a very creative family, so I enjoy being creative and doing fun things. So it was kind of like, what's the thing I always gravitate towards and finds me? And it was event planning. And so I decided, I think I'm just going to give this a go and tell my family and friends I'm doing my own event business and hire me. And so it's just been a slow build since there. I started part-time. I was working another full-time job doing fundraising and donor development. And then my favorite part of that job was planning these big annual fundraising events in LA and New York. And so it just kind of added to my portfolio. And I kind of was learning and teaching myself, learning on the job, and always found that it's just what I gravitated towards. People would call me, can you do my wedding? I'm like, yeah, of course. And so
Right.
I worked with some people that had experience as an assistant for a little bit, but more or less taught myself and do still really enjoy it.
That's awesome. So you started just like planning friends' weddings. You're like, sure, I'll do it. And then you're like, okay, we're doing this as like a full-time thing now.
Yeah. And I just have always kind of had a knack for knowing how to create. I have like a sixth sense of how guests will experience a space and how many guests will actually come. I don't know. It's like a sense I have. I just know it. And they're like, how'd you get the number so accurate? I'm like, I don't know. I just knew.
I can read minds. I can see the future. I know how this is going to go. But that's good. I mean, you kind of need to have that when you're planning events too. You kind of need to know, what's going to happen here and have a realistic thing. Because most of the time the people don't know. So speaking of events, do you mainly do just weddings? Do you do a little bit of everything? Do you still do any corporate planning, or what's your kind of forte?
Yeah, I like doing a little bit of everything. Polly Knows Best is the title, the business name for all my weddings. So I do all my weddings under that. I named the business after my mom. Her name's Polly.
Okay. I was going to ask. That was going to be one of my questions. So I was like, it's a unique name, so I was curious.
Yeah, people call me and they're like, is this Polly? I'm like, well, it's cool, but you've got the right number.
I mean, we're Felix and Fingers Dueling Pianos, and my name's Shawn. And there's a story behind that one too, which we won't get into, but it's like, I get that. Yeah. So it happens.
Totally. So that's the umbrella for my wedding business. And then I have another umbrella for my big fundraising events and corporate events. But I enjoy doing them all. So it keeps it interesting and fun. I love weddings so much, but if I did a wedding every weekend, I think I would burn out really fast. So I'd
They're
rather
long.
be fresh for my clients,
It's like, they're like 16-hour days. I mean, they're long events. It's a long thing. How many do you end up doing like a year? Like overall events, like weddings and fundraiser, everything?
I try to keep it at about like one a month. Because I also have a lot of leadership development stuff my husband and I do together. I try to keep it one a month so it's fresh and I can focus and do it really well. I will do two, but that's kind of my max. If I'm at 2 events a month, I can't do 3 or 4 well, and really give it my all and be present and not like frazzled when I show up to do the event.
Right. Yeah. But that's good to know that. Some people don't know that and they just do all this stuff and then they're getting behind on their emails and the clients are like freaking out, like, where are you? And it's like, sorry, I was working on this, Yeah. So it's good to have that. So let's focus a little bit on weddings today, because I've been talking
Yeah.
to a lot of people about fundraisers and corporates in the last couple episodes. So I want to get back to weddings. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
And we'll talk a little bit about everything, but I want to talk mostly about weddings. My one question I like to ask people is like, what's the, when people are just starting to plan their wedding, just got engaged, what's the number one piece of advice you'd have from the get-go? Step one.
So it could go two different ways. My first answer is you have probably never planned a wedding before, so please get help.
Yes.
You right? Like, you need help. I am in the middle of redoing my backyard right now, and I'm not a landscaper, and so I called a landscaper to help me because I want it done well, and I've never done it. And so it's like you need a wedding planner. You don't need to have a full service wedding planner. There are a lot of things you can do yourself, but you need someone to walk you through the process if you've never planned a wedding before. There are just a lot of things you will not think through. There are
Sure.
you're probably not going to think about weather and what if it's raining and what if it's windy and like let's make weather plans and just in case. There's just a lot of pieces and guest experience that people don't think through. And the second one is timeline. People don't really understand how long things take. And so
Right.
I find that without help of someone who knows, it's difficult to make an accurate wedding timeline, which affects your whole day.
Yep.
So I would say the first step is getting help. And then the second thing is that I think planning your wedding is like so much more than just planning a wedding. You are making probably more decisions with your partner than you've ever made together
Right.
before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so like carving out space and time so that you're doing well in the process because it is stressful. And so I
Yeah.
think that there's actually a need for like emotional health in the middle of all the logistics and planning.
I love that. And that's true. I planned a lot of my own wedding and it was stressful, but it also, like, looking back on it, I was like, it was fun. We enjoyed it. Like,
Yeah.
and the relief when it was over was great.
And it's
But
important, like, you're never going to get that season again.
right.
You're never going to be planning your wedding again, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. If all goes right,
If all goes well, you're not planning another wedding. So, like, don't just rush through it and be stressed out of your mind. I see people miss these really special moments because their stress and anxiety is so high. And it's like, just
Yeah.
enjoy this. You're not going to get it back.
Yeah. And that's why you hire people. I mean, I had a couple once, they didn't hire a wedding planner and we came into the process and they sent me a timeline that they had made. And they were like, what do you think about this? And they had allocated 20 minutes for dinner and it was 200 people getting through a buffet. And I was like, what do you think they're going to do? Eat a chicken leg and throw it? And I was like, this is an hour and a half if we're lucky. Like, we need to
Yeah,
revamp this whole thing. So yeah, that's why
absolutely.
it's good to talk about that. But this is actually a great transition because you mentioned you have like this coaching that you do. This is something I've not seen before. So you offer like a coaching thing and then you come in and execute it. So talk to me a little bit about that, the list of things you've got, because this is unique to me.
Yeah. So when I work with couples, I offer packages where I am like hopping on Zoom and like helping them through the planning process. And then I have a whole worksheet that's like very simplified. It's a Google sheet and it's got all these tabs.
Sure.
And the very first tab is 144 items in order. And if you do all of these
Oh,
items in order, your wedding will be planned, like no
yeah.
problem. And the feedback I've gotten from brides is like, that is their favorite. They're like, I had so many details spinning in my head. I didn't know what to do first. That worksheet was like game changer. So I give
Yeah.
them the worksheet. And then depending on the date of their wedding, I actually put in due dates for everything. So it's like, you don't need your whole wedding planned 8 months out. 8 months out, you just need these 5 things done. And if you do that, you're good. Like, we don't have to feel the stress of 144
Right.
items 8 months out. And so
Yeah.
then it's 7 months out. If you do these 5 more items, 6 months out, do these 5 more items. So I find that people really love that. And then once a month, depending on the package they book, I hop on an hour Zoom call and we talk through it. What questions are coming up? What are your concerns? And as we're doing all that, we build out the timeline, we build out the floor plan, we build out the vendor list. So then
Right.
when it comes time for the wedding day, I know exactly what's going on. I show up with my team and we just implement it and it's smooth. So all of the worksheets are like in all the order that my team knows exactly what needs to be done when they see it. So it works well because I have a really set system. And then it helps the couple feel at peace. Like this is being
Yeah.
managed and I've done what I need to do.
And I think, I talk to a lot of wedding planners about this too, but I think it helps the couples maintain kind of their creative control. Because a lot of brides and grooms, I think sometimes when they're like, oh, I have to hire a wedding planner, but I have this vision, they think the wedding planner is going to like take over the vision, which we know is not the case. But
No,
this also gives them a really concise, like, look, you're in control. This is just the tools to help you. Almost
totally.
like a wedding coach.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
I
call it,
love it.
wedding coaching. And years back, I didn't do the coaching part, and people would
Sure.
just want day of coordination. And then I'd show up and I'd be like, what? This doesn't make any sense. What am I doing? And I
Yeah.
was like, this is not working. I've got to rework this problem. And so now what's really great about the coaching calls too is I'm spending so much time with the couple through the planning process that when it gets to the wedding day, I feel like I know them and they're like my
Right.
friends. And then I
Sure.
know what their personality is and what they want. There are like, from my experience, there's two types of brides. You've got bride A who wants to be in every detail and she
Hmm.
wants to know that you're on the timeline. She's like, she wants to know, hey, in 5 minutes, we're going to go do your couple photos. In
Yep.
15 minutes, we're going to sit down for dinner. Like she's a need to know person, is the need to know. And then the second bride that I often work with is that I don't want to know anything. I just
Right.
want
Yeah.
float through my day and have it be magical. Don't tell me anything. And
Yeah.
so when I do all those coaching calls, I get to figure out which one they are. So
Right.
I know how to serve them on the day. Like
Yeah.
it's their day and so it needs to be amazing.
Well, and also like it's nice to if they have that list, do you also work as like a kind of hold you accountable to that list? Like, all right, did you get these things done? Are we good here? Like, and if
Yeah,
they're like, no, we still didn't do this, you're like, okay, no worries. Well, here's what we'll do, that kind of thing.
totally.
Yeah.
Yes. And I find that people tend to panic thinking I haven't gotten enough done. I'm behind. I'm behind. I hear that pretty
Right.
much every wedding. And because I think I've done so many weddings, I look at it and I'm like, actually, we're not behind. We're good.
Huh.
Like the number of things you still have to do, the amount of time we have, it's not a problem. We're good. And they're like, really? And then it just like takes like they can
Yeah.
take a deep breath, you know?
Yeah, it's so funny because wedding planning, I'm not a wedding planner, but from what I gathered, just talking to so many of them, it's like, it's part executioner and part like therapist. Like, I'm here, it's going to be
Totally.
okay. Like, we've got it. Take a big deep breath, part
Oh my
yoga
God.
instructor, relax, center
Yeah.
yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
and one of the questions I always ask couples when we get started is like, what are you most excited about? And what are you dreading? Like, what are you really concerned about? And oftentimes, the answer to the concern part is always a specific family member.
Oh, yeah. Uncle
They're like,
Jim. Oh,
yeah, like there's always couple people. They're like, they're going to come to the wedding. We don't really want them,
yeah.
So
Parents paid. They want them there. So I guess we got to do it. I don't know.
totally. And then it helps me as the planner day
Yeah.
of to kind of help manage things and be like, oh, that's Uncle Jim.
Yeah. My one goal in life is to never be that person that people are dreading to have at their wedding. If I can go through all of my life without having that, me being that guy, that'd be great.
Totally.
Perfect. Because you
And
never know when you're that guy.
yeah, and I find that the people whoever they're like dreading coming, people do tend to be on good behavior for a wedding. So
Yeah.
whatever the worst case scenario is that they're imagining, it almost never happens.
This is actually a perfect transition because one of my favorite questions I like to ask is what's the cringiest thing you've ever seen at a wedding? Either something that's gone wrong, somebody misbehaving, something that the couple did that just they thought would work and just didn't work. Like anything that pops
Oh,
into your mind.
yes. So I did this one wedding and the groomsmen were supposed to be there. They were going to do all these photos ahead of time. So
Okay.
we needed the groomsmen there in their outfits, their tuxes, and the officiant for the wedding we had to start the ceremony at exactly 4 because at 4:30 he had to be in his car because he had a flight to catch. So
Wow.
it was
Okay.
like nothing can go wrong on the timeline, which normally we stick to the timeline, so I wasn't too worried about that. But the time the groomsmen are supposed to be there, I'm looking everywhere, like, where are the groomsmen? Where's the groom? Where's the groomsmen? I asked the bride, I'm asking the bridesmaid, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. An hour after they're supposed to be there, I'm told they're here. Great. Okay. Well, they know where their room is to finish getting ready. So I'm taking care of all the stuff. 30 minutes goes by and I'm like, where are they? I
What time
go,
is it now? How late are you guys late already
oh
or?
my gosh, we're not late yet, but like we were supposed to be doing photos like right now.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
I haven't even seen them yet. So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I was told they're here. They're not here. So I go outside and they are like hanging out in the parking lot. They're smoking, they're playing with the soccer ball, and there's like 10 of them. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, and for this particular wedding, they were huge guys, like these huge guys. So
Yeah.
I'm like this, I come out there, a little blonde girl. I'm like, hey guys, we
Yeah.
are supposed to be doing photos right now, like literally right now, and you guys aren't even dressed. They're like, oh, sorry. And so they come in and they put on their tuxes, and every single one of them has no idea how to tie a tie, no idea how to put their pocket square in, no idea how to pin on the boutonniere. So I'm just running around frantic, and then I tell half of them, look up a YouTube video right now and tie your ties. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
You're just in there. Are you just in there like dressing 10 guys? Like,
Yeah.
just, okay, come on.
Totally, as fast as I could, as fast.
Oh no.
Seriously, it's a miracle we started on time. I don't know how.
You did start on
We
time?
did start on time.
You'd
I
think
got
out of 10 guys, one of them would know how to tie a tie and they'd help the others. Like,
not one of them.
that is, where was this wedding at? Like,
It was
what
in
area?
Nashville.
Nashville. That's even more surprising to me. I don't know why. You think Nashville, it's like a bunch of guys that like know what they're doing, but I guess not, man.
Yeah, totally. No,
Yeah.
it was comical and very frustrating.
Yeah. Did the bride even know that all that was going on, or did she never know?
She was a little panicked, but I just kept her out of it. We're good.
Yeah.
You just keep getting ready. Just keep getting
And
ready.
the girls are probably already ready, right? Were they like?
Oh, yeah, for the most part. Yeah, they were ready. And then
Yeah.
we ended up just moving a bunch of the photos till after the ceremony. So I
Yeah.
think we extended cocktail hour a bit, and like dinner timeline got pushed a little bit, but that ceremony started right at 4.
Good job. Well done. Good move.
Officiant's got a flight to catch.
Yeah, which is also funny to me. The officiant's like, look, I gotta go to Vegas tonight. I can't be here.
Right? Like we couldn't fly out 2 hours later.
Yeah, really cutting it close there.
Yeah.
Similar to that. So, aside from cringy things, what's the most unique thing you've ever seen in a wedding? Something that like stands out as like, oh, that was really cute, or like, could be anything.
Thinking, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this one. I feel like I should have a
Yeah,
long.
I mean, I usually tell people like it could be like I did one once where the mother and son, we have the pianos at the show, and instead of doing a mother-son dance, they decided to do a piano duet.
Oh,
So they like played a song together, and it was just awesome. Like it was so cool, and like I will never see that again, But I always say to people like, was there ever like a speech that was like, oh, that was amazing, or like a first dance that you were like, oh, that's a winner. Like I've never seen something like that before.
I mean, all the examples coming to mind are from my own wedding. Can I use my own wedding?
Yeah, I 100% use your own wedding. Yeah, I use my own wedding for things all the time. My wedding was awesome. Okay, so yeah, tell me about yours.
Well, there were a couple of things about our wedding that I just loved so much. The first thing was that we decided we had about 130 guests, and my husband and I are very people. And we just
Sure.
care so much about like every person coming. And we knew we weren't going to get a lot of time with them, and some people were flying in. And so we decided that our cards that would tell people what table they were at, we were going to like hand write each person this like really meaningful note and card about
Oh,
how
that's
much we loved
awesome.
them and like how much they meant to us. And it took us a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was one of the
Mm.
things that people were so touched by when they were at our
Right.
wedding. People were taking photos of them and they were like, I can't believe you guys wrote so many. And for us, it was
Yeah.
like, we're not going to get to say this to you on our wedding day. So we're going to write it because we care so much that you're here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was, I've actually suggested to couples that they do that since we did
Yeah.
that years ago, but no one's taken me up on it yet.
I love that. I think that's so cool. I'm kind of jealous I didn't think of that. I wish we'd have this conversation before my wedding. But then I invited a lot of people, and there were some people there that, I had an Uncle Jim or two. So I would have been like, what am I going to write to this person? I don't want, thanks for coming. Don't eat all the steak. I don't know. Like,
Have more than 2 drinks, please.
yeah, please, you're cut off after two, so that's really cool. That's really unique. I like that a lot. I love it.
Yeah, that was fun.
So let me see. So let me ask you this. So you've been doing, did you plan your own wedding, or did you get into that afterwards?
I planned my own wedding, but I did hire a friend to do day of coordinating
Okay,
because
cool.
I just wanted to enjoy it, you know?
Wanted to coast through that.
Yeah,
That
I don't
makes
want to be
sense.
worrying about the timeline for my own wedding.
Yeah, no, you just want to relax. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So let me ask you this, because I talk to a lot of people about, like, obviously nowadays with weddings, like, social media plays a big impact. We've got TikTok and Instagram. People are seeing things that they're like, oh my God, this is so unique. I want to do that at my wedding. So what have you noticed since when you started doing weddings towards now, things that have changed, like trends that have gone different directions, either things we used to do a lot and now we don't do, or things that we never did that now everybody wants to do?
Yeah.
What are some of the things you've noticed change?
Um, I would say since COVID, a big change is that it's become more acceptable to get married any day of the week. So,
Yes.
right? So, like, you used to just go to a wedding on a Friday or a Saturday, but I've done a Monday
No.
wedding, I've done a Thursday wedding.
Yep.
Like, there's kind of
I
a
did a
bit,
Sunday.
yeah, there's a bit more freedom now that you kind of can get married whatever day of the week you want. And it's less expensive to get married on a weekday. And so people are taking that option a lot more, and it's not so weird. Um,
Yeah.
so that'd be my first answer. Second answer is micro weddings are really becoming a bigger thing. I've done several of those recently where people are like, I just want 20 of my closest friends here, and that's it. And I'm not going to invite everybody I know and all the extended family. I just want to have this really epic moment with 20 or 30 of my closest friends. And so I'm
Fair.
finding that they'll usually pick a place that's maybe an hour or two away. It's beautiful. They'll spend their money on, instead of spending money on feeding 150 people, everything is like higher end and top tier for 20 or 30 people and
Right.
making it a really special experience. So I would say micro weddings are the other trend I'm seeing.
I love both of those things. And I think, I love that a lot of that old tradition of, like, you have to invite every person you've ever met, every person your parents have ever met to this wedding. Like, I mean, I had a lot of people at mine, but I like throwing parties. Like, I was like, oh, well, that person's fun. I got to invite them. But then if I invite them, I got to invite them, But I got married on a Sunday. And, like, look, like, I
Yeah,
tell
me
people all the
too.
time, like, there is nothing wrong with it. Like, first of all, if people got to take off work, that means only the people that really like you are going to be there, and the rest won't. So
Totally.
great. I'm sorry, this person can't get off work. Oh, bummer. I really wanted them to be there, But everybody who, like, really wants to be there will be there, whether
Yeah,
it's on a Saturday or a Wednesday. It'll happen. So
totally.
I have this Thursday. I'm doing a wedding a week from today,
Okay.
which is
Yeah,
awesome. I'm doing a Thursday wedding. That's great.
totally. And one of the things that's really great about a Sunday wedding, I did that too, is that for your out of town guests, you could plan a really fun outing on Saturday the day before.
100%.
And then
Yeah.
what ends up happening is you get more time with the people that
Yep.
have come to see you. And so you could do a beach outing or a hike, or have everyone meet up in a fun location and grab lunch. Like it just makes it more relaxed, I think. Because it's kind of fun to get more time with people that you want to see.
Yeah, I'd say I got more time because everybody came in either late Thursday or Friday morning. So if the wedding was Saturday, Sunday, a lot of people probably would have left. It would have been, but since the wedding was Sunday, it's like we did things Friday night, like we did things all day Saturday. Like it was like a long weekend. And then Sunday, by the time Sunday rolled around, we were all having so much fun from the last 2 days. I was like, oh crap, I gotta get married tomorrow. Like I was like, I forgot. It's coming up quick. So yeah. So
I like that.
I do like that a lot, that people are starting to do that. So, and, especially with like somebody like us or like other, you're going to get a lot of available vendors. You're going to get some of the best vendors. Like, if you've got a DJ company that you're looking at, a lot of DJ companies have multiple DJs. You're going to probably get the main guy, the best one, because it's not a Saturday where they're doing 4 or 5 events. They're probably doing one, and you're that one. So I think a lot of times you'll get kind of the A team of people at your event too, which is great.
Which,
go ahead.
Can I add your question when you asked, like, what are some of the best things you've seen at weddings? The other thing that's coming to mind is when you and your wife were playing at Greta's wedding. I have never seen the audience, the crowd, all the guests, like so like out of their seats and involved in the evening entertainment for hours. Like that.
It was fun.
I was actually really amazed by how engaged everyone was with you guys playing music and making up lyrics on the spot. So I've actually recommended you guys to a bunch of clients since. I don't know if they've told you.
You're too kind.
But that
I'm trying to remember. I was trying to remember what venue were we at? I remember the way it looked, but I can't remember the name of it. Do you remember?
It was in Irvine.
It was outdoors, right? It was outdoors and it was very like green, I remember.
Yeah.
I just can't remember the name of it. It's going to drive me nuts. I'll have to reach out to them and see if I can get them on here because I remember really liking that venue. I'll look it up. I've got it somewhere in my mess of emails somewhere. But I appreciate you saying that. We always like doing unique stuff, and usually for us it's great because people who hire us usually do a lot of other unique stuff. So we've seen some very fun things at weddings, and I always love that because I get bored. If I just see the same, okay, here we go, classic. So
totally.
Anyway, so one other question I want to ask you is like, what's like a big, a big need that you're seeing in the wedding industry right now?
Well, pricing is crazy. It's going up. It's so expensive to get married. I don't know how we solve this problem, but I would love for there to be like a place where people could like reuse things from other weddings more easily. Like I know people sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace once they've done their wedding, but I would love if there was like a forum where people are like, I did my wedding and I have these 50 vases. Who wants them? And like there was a little bit, because every wedding's going to have vases. Every wedding needs a gift table with a gift box and a gift card sign and a welcome sign. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's this need to like repurpose things in the industry a little bit better.
100%.
If someone
and it's
wants
less landfill, it's less trash. It gets recycled into other people's weddings, which is good too.
Totally. So. And people spend so much money, and like we're literally throwing it away at the end of the day.
Right.
And so I don't know. I don't have capacity for that. But if someone could take that and build a business for the wedding industry, I think you'd be really successful.
Here you go. You heard it here. $1 million idea. Somebody take it. We don't have time. So it's all yours. No copyrights here. You can have it. Yeah. I like that. I think that would be huge. I mean, I use stuff from like friends' weddings, and we still have a few things from our wedding that are just sitting in like my shed. And they're eventually going to get there. Like when we move, they're not going to be used. So it's like, it'd be cool if there was like almost like even like a physical place. I could just go take them and be like, here you go. Like,
Exactly. Drop them off and then they all get uploaded. And then they're like.
Like a Buffalo exchange, but for like wedding stuff. Like I can go give you this stuff and maybe take some of this stuff. Like that would be fun.
Totally. Like I was just talking with
Yeah.
a client who just did her wedding, and she was like, I feel like every time I turned around, everything was $1,000. I want these things printed, $1,000. I need more flowers for this, $1,000. It's like,
Right.
let's bring down the cost a little bit on some of the unnecessary things,
Yeah.
repurpose.
Yeah. And that's why we ended up making, I mean, my wife's very handy. So she made a lot of our decorations herself. So we didn't print things really at all, which saved us a lot. And also, again, if you want the cost to go down, look at a weekday because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, even like us, like we're often the difference of $1,000 on a Sunday versus like another day. Like Saturdays, I can't work on price because it's a Saturday. It's only, how many a year I can't do it,
Yeah.
52 or so a year. So can't do it on a Saturday, but Sundays, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So you're working a lot of weddings.
Yeah. Well, it's not all wet. I do a lot of other things, but yeah, I'm usually, I think I have one Saturday off this year. So
Okay.
I don't see my friends on Saturdays. So, usually I see them on Sundays. So if you book your wedding on Sunday, I'll come out and I won't see my friends that day.
There we go.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, well, we're just about at time. So is there anything else before we wrap it up that you kind of want to mention, kind of want to say, shout out, anything else about your business you want people to know? Obviously, we'll link to your socials and everything so people know where to find you. But anything else you want to kind of drop in before we head out of here?
Yeah, I mean, if you like anyone listening, I do a free coaching call for anyone that wants to just inquire and learn more and share some of the details about your wedding and see if my team and I would be a good fit. So feel free to go to my website and you can book a free 30-minute Zoom call, coaching call. So would love
Nice.
to connect with you guys on that are listening. And then I think the last thing is that even though I'm a wedding planner, so much of the importance of the wedding planning season is like you're building the foundation for your marriage. And so don't get so caught up in all the details that you miss the importance of what's happening. Like you're about to enter a whole new season of life. So do that well. And let's not be frantic and anxious and all these things. Like, let's start this new season in peace and with laughter and joy. I think it's so important. The couples just don't get so caught up in the planning.
Yeah. And enjoy it. I mean, really enjoy it. I mean, my wedding was the most fun I've ever had. And even looking back on it, like planning it, I would do it all again if I could throw that party again because I had so much fun. Like I would do it again. Like, and then once it's over, you're just married. So it's like, okay, we're just working. And so it's really a fun time. So I like that piece of advice and that's good. And now that I know that, I didn't realize you did the free coaching call. I'll definitely, when I talk to some people, I'll send them your way if they don't have planners. Cause I talk to people all the time that have no idea what they're doing. And they're like, no, we don't have any plan. We're just winging it. And I'm like, you need help. Let's talk. So
please.
Yeah. So I'll send some people your way.
Totally. For the sake of all your vendors that day, please don't wing it.
Yeah, please. I've worked enough weddings where there's no plan or anything. And I'm like, this is not going to work. I told you this wasn't going to work. And now we're here and it's not working and you're getting upset. And I'm like, I warned you. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's it for us. So thank you so much for doing this, Nicole. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'll definitely send some people your way and we'll link to all your stuff so people know where to find you and all that fun stuff. All righty?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shawn.
All right. Thanks, Nicole. You have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Eventful Endeavors, Secrets to Crafting the Perfect Celebration. We hope to have left you with some actionable ideas for your own event. If you like the show, please subscribe and definitely leave us a review. We read every comment. So until next time, happy planning and see you soon on Eventful Endeavors.